we go. Okay, cool. Hi guys, how's it? My name is Amahle Jaxx, and I am your host for this evening for the Capo's listening session. Today we are getting to experience Indigo Child 2, Love and Frequency. And this is for me more than just a listening session. You know, we're tuning into your frequency. And through that experience, I hope that we will all understand the love that he has for music and the love that we all have for music in general, right? Because we all understand that, you know, real music isn't just about sound, you know, it's about emotions, it's about connectivity, it's about frequency, it's about the memories that we hold. But most importantly, it's about love. So when I welcome you today, I ask that you celebrate the sounds that you will hear today, that you understand the soul that this man has put into this album, and that you understand, you know, we are sitting here with a visionary, someone who is quite talented, as we all know from the first Indigo Child and all the albums he's released after that. But more than anything, we're also going to speak about collaboration, because these albums aren't made by just one man, and this is the panel that's sitting in front of you. You know, we've got the talented FKA Mash, who co-produced one of the songs. We've got President Honey, who has designed the beautiful artwork that we have behind us, and we have Maline Aura, who, for me, arguably has the best song on the album. I did get a little bit of a sneak peek, and it is absolutely, it's delicious. And we're gonna hear all these beautiful songs tonight in different ways and different versions, but I don't wanna spoil any surprises for anyone. So yeah, my only welcome to you guys is to let yourself feel the music, let yourself remember how the music made you feel, and most importantly, let yourself tune into love and frequency. So that's the official intro. We can now relax and get into the conversation. It's always so, oh, thanks. So we're obviously going to be having the live conversation with the collaborators of the album and the man himself, but just some housekeeping rules from me. On your left, you will see lights that will guide you home. I'm joking, they'll guide you to the bathroom. You got my joke. They'll guide you to the bathroom. We will also be breaking bread, as friends do. Thank you to Food I Love You. And then our, you know, Mr. Capo himself will be giving us a little bit of a set at the end. So yeah, that's it for me for now, but I'm gonna start with my questions. I promise I'm not grilling you guys. We are having a conversation. Nobody must be nervous. So I'm gonna start with you, sir. I'm going to tell you my experience. I could be wrong, but you'll let me know. When I listen to, you know, Indigo Child 1, right, I hear someone who has a point to prove, someone who is celebrating culture, someone who's deliberate in showcasing African sounds, genres, instruments, you know. I see a young man who's kind of coming into the world saying, this is what African house music sounds like, right? And then we get to Genesis, and this album dropped in 2020. So when we get to Genesis, I feel like there's almost a level of composure that you have. Almost if we were in Xhosa, we say a gyan energy. You know, when I listen to it, it's calm. It has a vision. And I think it's also quite reflective of what we were going through in 2020, which was everyone was locked into their house. So it's not as high-spirited, but it's a journey almost. And then we get to the reason we are all here today. When I listen to Indigo Child 2, I hear the same, you know, influence that was found in the first one, but then I understand we are in love in this album, guys. I have listened to it. The whole thing is it's a love story, and it's a beautiful love story. And so my first question to you is, what inspired you to make an album about love? Is it on? Hello? There we go. Everybody,
there we go.
Yeah, everybody flick it up, please, for me. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, what made you, make an album about love?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank, everybody that played a role in this beautiful project. To the team, to the featured artists, essentially everybody. This really means so much, to me to put this whole beautiful project together. Sorry, I couldn't have done this without all these guys. So really, thank you so much to everybody who was involved. To keep it brief and to be concise about the project. Obviously, we all know the first rendition, which was Indigo Child Part 1. Yeah. Like you said it, like you put it nicely when you briefly when you explain in the project. This one is definitely about love. It's not necessarily about like a woman and a man kind of love. It's me spreading the unconditional love, through beautiful music. You know what I mean? Obviously, Frequencies has to do a lot with dealing with emotions,
yes.
On this project, there's so many, love stories.
Yeah. There's uncles at the gate.
There's uncles at the gate. There's, brotherly love, friendship. There's plenty of love on this project. So entirely, it's just about unconditional love and, beautiful music.
Yeah, I definitely got that when I was listening to it. You recently got married, and I wanted to know what influence your wife had, if any, on you making this album, because, women are the best. But I just wanted to know, was there, that taking that next step in your life, did that influence your album in any way?
Yeah, I guess we could roughly say that. She's always been, the bigger picture within my music career. She has played a huge role. She has kept me in line. She has done so much for me. She's also an artist, by the way, so she's a vocalist too. So, so she certainly played a huge role for this project, I might say. But, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I promise I'm going to get to you guys. I promise you I'm with you guys, but I just want to start with this man first, because the reason I was asking about your beautiful wife is that you feature a lot of women in this album. I don't know, you've got Mahu, we've got Elaine, we've got my girl Bokasi sitting over here. We've got Maline as well. Was that intentional, having that many women, or was it just these are just talented people that just need to be on my album?
These are my favorite, artists. People that, for some reason, for an example, me and Poskazi, we met at Jaxx, for example, and she was one of the vocalists that were brought in by, the guys at Sony.
Yeah.
So we were doing a bit more like a camping thing.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of vocalists, but she stood out. You know what I mean? Her song was one of the songs that stood out because I just gave everybody a beat.
Yeah.
She was the first to actually write on their beat.
Yeah. And
then when she brought back the project, I was blown away. I was, yeah. So yeah.
Let's give her a round of applause, guys. She's right here. I love that, the fact that these are your favorite artists, and there is that inclusivity, because we all know, it's slightly lacking in the industry, but that intention that you've put to put your favorite artists, regardless of gender, is, I think, a beautiful thing. And then I want to go a little bit back to the first one, right? These are some stats that I have. 36.5 million streams. I think that's increased since then. I think it's increased. Yeah, you've blown up. Africa is 4 times platinum. Kalaya is 3 times platinum. Found You is 2 times platinum. there's this idea that you could have just kept the album as it was and moved on. What made you do a sequel and continue the story of Indigo Child?
To be honest, I promised, like, I do music for the fans. You know what I mean? These are the people that, put me in a space where I am today. They made me who I am. So everything I do, mainly about music, is, it's for them. So after I put out part 1, I remember I promised that I'm going to drop part 2. And it's been over maybe 8 years.
Yeah.
So it's been long overdue. Some were mad, some gave up, some are no longer my fans, But at the end of the day, I had to, fulfill,
the promise that you had made. Yeah.
So that's why I came up with, the follow-up.
It's great. I promise you guys it's delicious. So obviously we've said that you value collaboration, right? And I want to just take us over to that international superstar over there, FKA Mash, who, if you guys didn't know, was in Ibiza recently, played at High, a back-to-back with Black Coffee, got a round of applause when his set was done, and got one of these. And I think in DJ worlds, that's like a cosign when they when they start bowing to you. Talk to me a little bit, Mash, about collaborating and actually, let me start with this one. Playing overseas and taking the sound overseas, and what does that mean to you?
Hi, everyone. So it's quite an interesting part of my life right now to be able to tell the South African, or help tell the South African story to the world, And I don't get to do that without people like Capo, without people like Tulo, Coffee, Shimi, Kasango, all of those people. I don't get to do what I do now without them doing what they do, So in a way, like, when you get there, you do feel like you stand out because it's so different.
Yeah.
Like, our sound is so different from whatever it is that they're doing out there, But at the same time, you come back with a new inspiration.
Yeah.
There's a new texture now that my sound has taken on, and it kind of comes through even with the song that I'm doing, that we did with Capo,
Yeah. And on that, talk to me about collaborating between the two of you. Like, how does that work? Are you guys always texting each other like, yo, I've got a beat or a song or whatever? Like, take me through the process of, like, you guys coming together. Does he just send you the beat, or,
Well, it depends. I mean, with the first collaboration that we did 2 years ago, I think, I sent him an idea, he sent something back, and then we just fine-tuned it like that,
Yeah.
But with this one, I paid him a visit at his place, and then he was playing me the album. He had like 20-something songs. I'm sorry to give that away. And the first thing I said to him was like, dude, like, we need to cut this thing down to fewer songs, one.
Yeah.
And there was that song that we did, which is Free Spirit, that I heard, and I started telling him what I think we should do at certain points of the song. Then he was like, okay, take it and go do it yourself, So I took it and did it myself. And then, then we had a bit of a back and forth about what should sit where and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just works a bit smoother because we have that relationship,
Yeah. And how would you describe, I know that nobody else has heard the songs, but how would you describe Free Spirit, Capo? You did it with Julian Place as well. What was the thinking behind that song, and with the editing coming from Mash now and all of that?
So, there was a first version of Free Spirits.
Yeah.
Which I did with Julian Place up until FKA heard, the first version, and he was keen to jump on it, you know. I never thought like he would flip it around because he switched it around and then he told such a beautiful story.
Yeah.
On the track. It's such a it's such an amazing track. I mean, like I've been spinning it so many times overseas, and the feedback and the love for it is exceptional. It's amazing.
Okay, cool. And then still keeping on this fine tuning, I'm coming to you, my sister. Don't look at me with terrified eyes. You then bring in Maline Aura, right? And for those of you who don't know, this lady's track record is insane. There's not enough time for me to tell you all the people she's collaborated with, but Shimza, Atmos Black, Tyler ICU, obviously the Capo, the list. The bio I got, there was not enough papers. So I wanted to know, she's on a song called Ubuhle Bakho. And I'm Xhosa, so my interpretation might be off because I feel like it was Zulu, but my understanding of it was the beauty of the person and the beauty of falling in love.
Yes.
Okay, my Zulu's getting strong. Okay, so what is your guys' process? Did Capo tell you his vision, or do you hear the beat and then you write the song? Like what happened between the two of you for you to make what I really think, for me, is the best song on the album?
Oh. Sanbonani, hi. One thing I'm gonna say about this dude is that he's just gonna say, "Do your thing, just do your thing, just feel the song, just do your thing."
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened. But the thing with this song is that it changed. So it was a different beat in the first, when I got to studio, we did a song. It was nice. I'm not sure why it changed.
Why did it change? Why did it change?
Am I being too honest?
It had to change so that it can fit, the whole entire project.
The rest of the album.
The first one was already good, but I felt like it was a bit off. It was not going to complement all the other songs, so I had to change it.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, and so the first one, it changes, and then?
It changed, and then, the vocals then complemented the beat so well. Now it feels like a beautiful love song about Indoda Aintley.
Yeah, man.
A gorgeous man.
Yes.
Indoda. So yeah.
Okay, that's good, because I felt the same thing when I listened to it. I was just like, oh, this is a song that I'd love to sing to someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a song where you're driving with your mans in the car and you're like, you are him. Do you know what I mean?
On a Sunday.
Yeah, man. So, your voice, you have this ability, you almost, for me, you carry so much power in your voice, but like also a level of like intimacy and softness. It's very hard for me to kind of even explain, and I want you to explain like your process in general as a musician, how you can have that duplicity of like being powerful on a song, but at the same time being very soft and intimate, and kind of just take me through that, your creativity essentially.
One thing I'm going to say about myself, I don't know. I feel like when I'm in studio, I become somebody else. I don't know what happens. I feel the song and I just deliver it how I feel it, And one thing about me, I'm very honest with my music. So however I'm feeling on that day is exactly how I'm going to deliver. So I don't do this thing of getting the beats and writing at home. I always say I strictly write in studio.
Okay.
Because I like the energies that I feed off, Yeah, and I guess that's what it is. Because I'm always just like shocked. Sometimes I don't know where the lyrics even come from.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's something I've been realizing lately. Like I can write a song in like 10 minutes and I'm like, hey, what am I writing about? It like
I think that's the power of talent. I think that's what they call that. Just like talent and being genuinely passionate about what you do and understanding
definitely.
why you're doing it, I think it literally then comes out and pours out of you in that way. So the album is now made, you know, between the three of you guys. I mean, there's other artists who are featured on it. The album is made, it's signed off by yourself because you own your own record label called Genesis, and you are releasing this with Platoon. And then it's time for visuals, right? And your team comes to you and they say, we want President Honey on this to make your album cover. And guys, I learned today that the covers, if you put them together, am I right, President? Madam President?
I hear where you're going. Are you doing great?
Am I going? Okay. So when you put them together, they literally become one entire artwork. And I want you to kind of, you know, I mean, your CV is also crazy. You've done Nike, you've done Rich Mnisi, you've collaborated with other musicians. I just want to understand, you know, you know, how did this brief differ from all the other briefs that you've done?
Hello, everyone. It was a pretty simple brief in the way that I understood it, you know, like the essence of love and the indigo child, and just bringing the indigo child to fruition through illustration felt like something that was already inside of me, you know. I think we just had 2 chats between us, if I'm remembering correctly, when we met. I think this is the first time we're actually seeing each other in real life. Everything has been over emails and calls and stuff. But I think because there was also like a big sense of trust from the Capo's end, he showed me a mood board and I was like, all right, cool. We just had 1 edit and then they were happy.
1 revert, come on, you're strong.
I'm not the president for nothing.
You're strong. Only 1 revert, that's unheard of.
Also because like you have to sell it to more than 1 person, you know, and when the whole team is like, I bet, then it's just like, cool, job well done.
And then talk me through the actual design, right? So what are the textures or the cultural elements that kind of inspired for us to get to this part? You've touched on it a little bit in that answer, but when you're sitting there now and you have the brief, what inspires you to come up with this outside of this idea of love? Like, how do we get here?
I am really interested and fascinated with African artifacts, and African, like, from all over the continent, you know. I'm also Venda and Tsonga, so there's like a lot of that comes through in a lot of my work. And I'm just a detailed person, you know. I can't say to you that there was a sketch. I don't really sketch as an illustrator. I just start and I let my heart and my mind and my hand take me wherever they want to go. And I just follow, you know. So everything is based on instinct.
Yeah.
And I think if the next person can feel what it is that I'm doing, then yeah, we're good.
You're good to go.
Always.
That's brilliant. So obviously we've touched on the music itself, the artwork, the features. I want to go back to, you know, collaboration, back to you, Capo, which is, you've got Bongeziwe Mabandla on the album, you've got Jesse Clegg, you've got Black Donny, etc. With them and those songs, once again, I'm back to this process thing because I'm trying to understand. Do you invite them to studio? Do they write the songs and the lyrics and then you build the beat around it? Again, I'm back at that, what is the process for you? I think it's, obviously I've understood it's different for different artists, but what is the general theme of the way you collaborate?
Okay, yeah, so mostly the process behind my music production is, my stronghold is mostly when I have something to work on. Like if somebody gives me vocals. Okay. You know, it's easier for me, you know, to work around that. It gives me so much freedom to express myself, you know. It gives me so much room to be creative, you know. So most of the songs there were vocals that were already in place. So I was just working around, the vocals and just expressing myself.
Brilliant. And then we're going to take it international, because you guys are international superstars, right? So you've been touring a lot. That's why this album was taking so long, because you were...
Of course.
That's the excuse we're going to give today, is that my man's been touring, making sure he's making money. But like, you've been touring with some greats, right? And you have this phenomenon that's taken Europe by storm, which is your back-to-back, because it's 3 artists, you and Cairo and Eno Napier, and you've blown up. And you're getting booked. I'm hearing from your team that you're getting booked left, right, and center. As a child from Limpopo, you had a dream, obviously. Are you realizing that dream now when you are at this venue in Spain and there's 3,000 people in front of you and they want to hear your music? Like, tell me about that kind of feeling.
That has always been the goal, to explore, to share the music, you know what I mean, to travel the whole world. Always been the goal since about a decade or 20 years ago, The focus was not mainly, like mostly South Africa, but it was for, the entire world to just get to make people happy, make people dance, through music. I mean, like, music is a feeling, you want to share, what you're expressing with everybody. And through what I have experienced, through our music, through the B3B, through traveling with Mash and seeing him play as well, Workant, it played a huge role. It plays a huge role to everybody because, I see a whole lot of smiles. I see happy faces. That's how, powerful music is. It deals so much with, feelings. It deals so much with, anything that has to with your emotions. It's music. It's so powerful to that point. It's connectivity, and I've managed to also build a whole new family overseas. I've managed to build like a whole new fan base as well. I've been to places where I've never thought I would go to, but through music I've reached those spaces. So that's the power of music right there.
Mash, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I feel exactly the same way in terms of what you feel when you go and play outside of South Africa, because when you play for South Africans, it's an instant connection, because we all grew up listening to house music here. So if I make a song based on that upbringing, it's easily understandable in this room than in some place in Croatia or whatever, And what I started realizing is that there's this education that needs to happen for like maybe the first 2 songs. And then after that, it's go time. But playing internationally is really just it's an extension of what we've built here at home.
And how has, you touched on it a little bit, but can you have like, a more definitive answer on the influence of the international community, right? Because you're saying, when I'm in South Africa, it's instant. When you're overseas, how do you have to are you readjusting the sound, or are you pushing through with what you know?
A bit of both.
Okay.
A bit of both. So with South Africa, because geographically it's just so far from the rest of the world, we have our own sound here. Right? Developed over decades, and a South African house song just sounds South African, But once you start going to that side of the world, firstly, we play slow here.
Yes.
Right? So
the aim is not to sweat.
Yeah, like we very chilled in our approach, slow, soulful. And that side, it has to be slightly more up-tempo, very energetic. So I had to find a middle ground and kind of present myself as someone who found the middle ground in my journey, you know. I don't know about Capo, but I think with them it was a bit more instantaneous because like their tempo was already like up there.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a bit of a learning experience in the first few experiences, you know.
And Capo, so your travel influences are. So as you said, you were already at that tempo. So was it easier to just slide into? Not easier, but like
Dubbed, because my music is not really far off from what they vibe to, you know. I'm more into Afro tech.
Yeah.
So meaning like Europeans are mainly techie, you know, like they play so much techno in their music. So, you know, I've been producing Afro tech for more than a decade. So it wasn't really hard to adopt, you know, to those spaces. Like all I did was just to bring so much rhythm, because their music has rhythm, but it's not as much as ours. We have a lot of rhythm, you know what I mean? So,
no, I get that one. They have zero rhythm there.
Ah, dog, you should see them dance. You should see them dance, man.
We've seen the. It's always so confusing to me because it's just like, how are you not getting the? It's just four beats that you have to stick to, but they seemingly just don't get it. Tell me, outside of South Africa, obviously this is home. This is where you love to play. This is where your influences come from. I'll start with you, Mash. What's your favorite country to play in or place outside of Mzansi?
I've had some really good experiences in Germany, but I really love playing in Nairobi. Because it's like it's almost like South Africa, but like in 2009-10, because they recently started learning about house the way we learned about it during that time, you know. So they are very open. Like they will give Kabza the same reception they would give me, and they will give Shimi the same reception they will give a European act. You know, so they're so open because it's like a new thing to them. You know, so Nairobi is amazing. My first time there, I think I was meant to play an hour and a half. I ended up playing 3 hours.
Gee whiz.
And then Germany is good. I played in Berlin for the first time 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The visa is always amazing. Yeah. So I can't say I have like a favorite, but Nairobi really sticks out because like another part of Africa that just understands what we do, you know.
Yeah. Maline, have you had a chance to step outside and you know, perform elsewhere outside the borders of Mzansi?
I have.
Lovely. Tell me about it. I want to hear it.
Yeah, he's definitely right about Nairobi, Kenya. That was my first actual outside gig. Yeah. The reception there, I felt like they knew me. Like, I was like, hey, it feels like I'm home. Like, it's crazy. Like, you feel at home. The reception is amazing. They learn your songs on the spot. They sing your songs like they... I was just so amazed, you know, and you definitely, your set becomes longer. Yeah. Because of that. He's definitely right. And soon I'm going to Mozambique. Nice. So I'm doing these islandy places. Yeah. And it's amazing. What I do wish though for us vocalists, and especially in South Africa, is for people like about the Capo, about Mash to take us away. Take us away. You know, because people know our music, they don't know the face. Yes. They have no idea. But I do understand that it's very difficult to book a vocalist because they never have a setup for us. It's never a stage but we can literally perform next to a DJ. Like we trying to put the face to the music type thing.
Yeah, you don't need a whole backline. You just
don't.
It's just need a mic and a monitor.
You get me? It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Yeah.
Sorry.
Capo? Yeah.
Just to add to what she's saying is that I think dance music in South Africa, it definitely needs to move into a place where we can actually start exporting singers, right? Because obviously, like, DJing as a culture is a worldwide thing. It's well understood. You can book a DJ. He can even come alone, right?
Yeah.
But there's gonna have to be, and I don't know how people are gonna take this, but there's gonna have to be a black coffee of the singers who actually goes out there and puts themselves in front of the world to say, I'm from South Africa, I sing, and I can stand on this lineup as an artist, you know.
And I've done all these songs with all your favorite songs with all these people.
Exactly, you know.
Now give me a show.
Because obviously, like, you would love to be able to take your fellow collaborators around the world and perform with them, but it's not the easiest thing to pull off once you have to deal with those promoters and what they're offering you to come and play at the show, you know. So that's
it's like the balance. In fact, we need our Minister of Arts and Culture to do something. That's actually what we need to do. But
you talk to him.
But okay, and you? What's your favorite place to cover to play outside of SA?
Oh, yeah, definitely Kenya. Has to be
Guys,
Kenya.
what's happening in Kenya?
Oh, Kenya rocks, bro.
Hi, but
Yo,
must go to Nairobi.
Let me tell you something about Nairobi. I feel like it's gonna be the hub of Afro House.
Really?
Honestly.
This is the inside.
The first time we did our B3B with Karen, Napa, was in Nairobi.
Yeah.
It was on, I think it was on a holiday. When we put out flyers, people were complaining that like tomorrow it's a holiday. You guys are making it difficult for us, Can't you change the date,
Yeah.
But when the day came, we filled up the whole entire place, 5,000 plus people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's incredible.
So, Kenya always has, been one of those places where they truly, truly appreciate music. Not only Afro House.
Yeah.
Can be Amapiano. Like I'm definitely sure every artist that have been to Nairobi had an amazing experience.
Yeah. I've heard they can groove as hard as we do, so I believe you. There's always that debate on social media, like, who grooves harder, Kenyans or South Africans? But because I've never been, I've always assumed it's us. My final question to you guys, because there's some food that we have to eat, there's some special things that are happening. Afro House is everywhere now, right? And you're predominantly Afro Tech, but let's put it underneath the umbrella of Afro House. It's gone from being like this Kasi sound, in the hood sound, not even really appreciated by the middle class or upper class of South Africa, right? And it's now changed into luxury music. You've got your kind of musics jumping onto it. It's in Saint-Tropez, it's Spain, it's all these like luxurious places. Mash, I'll start with you. Do you feel like this is a good shift? Or do you feel like it's being diluted? Because I remember reading, I think it was like the top 10 Afro Tech DJs, and there wasn't a single African, forget South African, and it was all these Europeans, and I personally felt offended by that. So I think my question is, do you think it's good for the culture that, it's being exported at the rate that it's being exported? Or...
I mean, when I look at people like Kind of Music, for example, they're always willing to... They play our songs in their sets. I've played like 3 shows with them last year. Bali, I played in Barcelona with them, then in Johannesburg as well when we were here, It's always going to be a good thing when it's shining a light on the actual craft.
Yeah.
Right? However, at the same time, it's... I don't wanna be too political on platforms like these.
No, keep it PC, please.
I don't wanna be too political on platforms like these, but it's easy to see why people are saying it's getting diluted. But for someone like me, I just see it as another reason to just like actually go further in this particular thing, because it's being opened up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know, so there's more opportunity to be seen now. It doesn't take, it's not overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they worked 10, 15 years to get to where they are. And it's only a matter of time before, like, other people start to take over those spaces fully, you know?
Yeah. Capo, feelings, thoughts?
Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm very much happy with, you know, where the movement is headed to. Look, 10 years ago, like 10 years, Afro House was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
In Europe, more especially like not in popular spaces like, you know, your Paris, Berlin, just to name a few. I remember I went to the south of France. One time I was booked in the south of France, and that was back in 2015. I was amongst like EDM DJs and techno DJs. It was a vibe until I jumped in. Like everybody disappeared from the dance floor. Oh. You know, like zero. Yeah.
Do you continue? Oh, you have no choice but to continue. You have a contract.
But fast forward to now. Fast forward to, you know, what kind of music I've done. They played a huge role. They opened, you know, so many doors. Afro House is like a lifestyle now. Yeah. You know, you get people that pop bottles.
That's what I'm saying. It's become luxury.
It has become luxury. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's pretty much like a lifestyle now. So I think it's headed to the, you know, it's headed to the good direction, honestly. I mean, compared to like a decade ago. So yeah.
Okay. And also considering that people like Capo and Coffee and them have been traveling for the last 10 plus years going to Europe, the growth of Afro House and maybe the eyes that we're getting now on our scene, and even Amapiano, to be quite honest, like the growth of those genres, all those things, that's what's creating the opportunity for us to be able to start playing overseas. Yeah. You know? So chances are it would be much more difficult for me to also start playing in those spaces 3 years ago even, because that's when I started. Like 2-3 years ago was the first time I started going to Europe, you know? Whereas like, as he's saying, like he would probably get to a place and then like people are like, I'm not vibing with this, you know? So it took a bit of time for it to grow, and then when those people who are closer to or in close proximity of Europe and America, your kind of music, all of the bigger acts that are now jumping into the Afro House space, then now the conversation can be had about, okay, well, you guys are making this music, but like, where's the source? You know what I mean? Where does it originate from? You know?
I get you. Just to bring us back to the reason we're here, Indigo Child 2, I'm not telling you to pick a favorite song, but what's one song that if you could, you would have the whole world listen to from this album? Excuse. It's not.
Definitely, it will have to be the FKA Mash track.
The one with Mash.
It's such a beautiful track, man.
This guy.
Honestly,
you guys are so cute.
Yo, like this no. There's quite nice songs on the album, but for me, like the Free Spirits stands out. Like it does, it really does.
Okay, cool. So you've made the album. You've got the artwork, you've got the artists. We're sitting here now today speaking about it. Is there anything else you would love for people to understand about your album, Indigo Child 2? I mean, the growth from The first one, 10 years, 2016?
Yeah, 2017.
2017, yeah, to now. Is there any parting words on why we should actually listen to this album and tell our friends to listen to this album?
Yeah, look, there are expectations, right?
Yeah.
And I've already seen them on socials where people are like, we don't think this one is going to top of part one.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for us to perceive this one, but music is a feeling.
Yeah.
I'm expressing myself, you know what I mean? All the music that's on this album was meant to be on this album. It's a form of me expressing myself, and I just want to give back to, to my fans. And initially I just did this for them. That this is for the Capoholics out there.
I'll tell you one thing I felt. I felt like in a world of the world is just so crazy right now. When I listened to it, I was just like, it's so nice to be reminded of love and joy and positivity and just sharp ups and downs and so on. And I just felt like for me it was just a reawakening of something better, I think, the world. And I think that's what it can sometimes communicate. And even if you look at the artwork that's been done, it's two people holding hands almost, like this idea of togetherness. And so I applaud you on it. Hey, boo. Oh, it's right there. So, guys, that's it. I mean, I'm a Yava, so we could go on forever. But the people of Food I Love You want to start setting up their harvest table. We encourage you to go outside, and mingle. The music will play. When we wrap up, you'll get to hear a taste of this album that we've been speaking about. From me, Amahle Jaxx, I'd like to say thank you to each and one of you for yapping with me. I hope my questions weren't too tough, but I feel like you guys handled it. You guys are all right. Your face. But yeah, guys, thanks so much. When does the album drop?
This Friday.
Oh, laka.
Yeah.
So we're right in it. Excellent.
So excited. Super excited.
So yeah, this is what we're going to be listening to on Friday, guys. Indigo Child 2, Love and Frequency by a visionary, a talented musician, Capo. Thank you very much, and let's have a good evening.